Anime openings that completely spoil the show. The opening sequence to an anime is often a decent indicator of if you will like the show or not. It sets the pace and mood for the anime, as well as typically having a more upbeat song to pump you up for what is to come. However, an extremely common trend these days is to add little tidbits into the opening that actually spoil what is going to happen in the show. Thankfully, most stops are subtle enough to not ruin the series at episode 1, since most people have no idea what they are seeing. Unfortunately, there is that awkward middle moment when you are familiar with the characters and pick up on the symbolism. So what anime openings have some serious spoilers in them. Note: oh, so many spoilers. Obviously, 1. Future Diary. The first opening of Future Diary is absolutely riddled with spoilers for the series, but you won't really get them without prior exposure to the series. Essentially, you watch either the weapons or prized items of the other participants of the survival game dissolve into a bloody mess or other symbols of death. However, one of the biggest spoiled comes near the end of the opening, where it has Yuno fighting herself. At a glance, this seems like a visual cue to allude to her vicious behavior, but as it turns out later, she actually came back from a parallel timeline, murdered herself, and took her place as herself too. Shiki. The first opening to Shiki is one of those that you don't realize is a spoiler until later, after a few characters have been Shikified. However, once you see it, you can't unseen it. Note that you have a number of characters turning to skulls throughout the opening while others do not. The people that turn into skulls are the people that die or get turned into Shiki. It is a pretty big spoiler if you are rooting for people not to die. 3. Paranoia Agent. The opening credits deliberately do character spoilers for the show, alongside a dose of symbolism that will help tie some of the themes of the show together. By deliberately showing the characters in the opening, it entices the viewer to watch them, even if they are introduced as relatively minor characters. It is actually a rather genius way of forcing viewers to keep minor characters in mind in order to better get to know them without giving them much character development. 4. Your Lie in April. I'm not going to lie to you here. This is my all-time favorite spoiler. Why an anime opening of all time? Because it is not outright apparent, but once you realize what it is you are seeing, it changes everything. Honestly, this one likely won't spoil the bittersweet ending, as it all relies on symbolism. Throughout the opening, you are watching the characters interact with each other in a mix of surreal and realistic landscapes, but if you watch the characters carefully, you see the ultimate outcome of their relationships. Throughout the opening, first and foremost, you always see Kori and Kause together, which spoils the fact that she doesn't like Watari pretty hard. You see Tsubaki always next to or looking at Kause over her shoulder, but never between him and Kori, showing her confused feelings. However, most importantly are the scenes with Kori. She is often depicted falling, like a character that is slowly getting weaker, or with her eyes closed, like a character that is dead. Considering the credits end with the audience watching a bird fly off to a surreal sky after showing Kori surrounded by feathers throughout the opening, you get a pretty good idea of what happens. 5. Sayonara Zetsubu Sensei. Zetsubu Sensei became infamous for the fact that its different openings essentially spoiled the big twist of the series, which was that Kafuka died before the start of the series and her organs were donated to the rest of the cast. Being too optimistic to die, she possesses a different female character in every scene. While there are scenes in the series